you just pick a number and then we just go.
That sounds good.
I mean, we could have just did that. That was pretty good.
I know, that was, we have given the people like a, we just should market that, patent it, market it.
Seriously.
There's so many other things, because other people that go to other countries, just the kits that you would get when you land, like tissue and bottle of water and like hand sanitizer and like mask for a couple of days, and just the lack of.
Not here.
I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say that on a recorded video, because I feel like the government will come and knock and like, Connie.
Don't worry. All the stuff I post against this government, I'm surprised they're not knocking on the door right now. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Mary, we've got 39 suggestions. So pick a number 1 to 39.
Ooh. I'll go 25.
25. Here we go. Now the best part is you get to watch me count. Here we go, Mary. 1, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
You know, if you mess this up, Jay, 24 and 26 are going to be really upset or really happy.
I'm always like, I'm sure I've miscounted many times. I'm sure I have. I'm sure. But I think, all right, this is it. All right, here we go, Mary. This comes from, Mark Turpin. This is great. Our suggestion is, it wasn't as good as the first one. It wasn't as good as the first one. Thanks, Mark.
I know.
Right?
We messed up.
I mean, big time. I mean, this is a big mess up.
I mean, we talked about the pros and cons of trying, and I think we made a mistake.
You know, it's like you can talk it through, you can prepare it, and then when it happens, it's like kind of everything goes out the window, and it's how you react in the moment. That's what it is.
Yeah, but we should have known. You just can't replicate what we had. You can't do that.
It's like going back to sleep when you get woken up during a good dream, and you're like, if I go back to sleep right now, I can go right back to that dream, and it never happens. You hope it does, it just doesn't.
No, you just end up sleeping.
Yes.
It's nothing. So I mean, I feel like I caused this, so I should apologize that, you know, technically it's my fault. But at the same time, you know, it was your suggestion, and I said yes enthusiastically, but I booked us and pushed us to do this, so I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, this is it's a strange thing that I'm going to say this, but it takes 2 to tango, right? Literally takes 2 to tango.
Right.
And I get really excited sometimes, and I get really super excited.
It's like when you do something and then it doesn't live up to the expectations from the first time you did it. You're just like, well, it's ruined. It's like that first memory, it's gone. This is all I have.
It's like that first, it kind of taints that first memory, trying to do it again.
Yeah. It's just, I really wish that I would have taken more time to, you know, think about this trip more and maybe just not include, you know, painting with the twist element.
It sounded exciting. It sounded you sometimes you buy into the excitement of it and it doesn't live up to it, but that doesn't mean it's anybody's fault. It's like if anybody's fault, it's like it's an overpromise and an underdeliver.
That's supportive.
Hey,
But like we made these things that we now have to keep forever because they don't really let you leave them in the studio, you know?
it's part of the deal is we have to walk out of there with them and we can't throw it away or give it away. So
No, I mean, you tried. You were like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom," and then you got the car, and then I tried, and she just chucked him in the back window as you were driving away.
they track it. That's the thing. They track it and they know it's here. And every day we're going to have to walk in the living room and see them. And I'm trying to look at it as anything but a monstrosity, but it's not great.
Not great.
I mean, I wanted this to be a special anniversary.
Oh, I mean, it was such a good first date. We hadn't met each other. You know, it was like, let's create something together.
We weren't thinking. It was just we were in the moment, and I'm like, I think it'll be really great. And what a surprise, and what a reliving of a happy memory. What could go wrong? And oh boy, everything went wrong.
Everything went wrong. I mean, like these 4 pieces, they really clash, you know? There's no complement.
So
The color scheme is just so awful.
the thing that wouldn't bother me is if it was just that. If it was just like, okay, cool, it could be but the fact that this is reflective and a predictor of future events is that's what's bothering me.
I mean, like, is this what signifies like our time together? Like this? Oh God! Because if it does, maybe we should just not. You know, maybe it's a sign that we shouldn't.
What?
You know, like.
No.
Yeah, but just, I mean, look at it. Like when you look at that, you're gonna think of me. Then it'll be like, why am I still here? Ooh, yeah. That's what I think.
Okay. I'm good at putting a positive spin on things.
You can't spin that, Daryl. That's been spun. And maybe we've reached our limit.
How about this? How about this? There's nowhere to go but up. If this is, listen, Michelle, if this is the worst thing that's going to happen to us, it's terribly unflattering and
it's really bad.
It's real, like it doesn't even go. They don't even go together, like in any possible way. Like
no one can come in this room now. This was like our room. Well, you know, we can't.
What better way to keep this our room then is that nobody else can come into it because of that. So this is actually keeping this a more sacred space.
Yeah.
I can't stand to look at your eyes. Your eyes are, you look terrified and sad and disappointed at the same time.
just think,
Oh no.
I mean, the more I look at it and then I hear your voice, I'm just like, that's us. If I were my friend,
Yeah.
I would tell me based on that to reconsider.
Oh,
I mean, we had some good years, you know. 3 months is a long time for a relationship nowadays.
it's huge. With everything that's going on, that's a long time. So it's
It's a
a
long time. We did a lot. We moved in together, you know. We put up some shit on a wall. But this is not it. I can't just
look at me.
I can't.
Look at me. Look at
I
me.
can't.
Michelle. Michelle, look
I,
at me.
I can't.
Look at me.
I can't, Daryl.
Would you look
I
at me?
can't.
Look me in the eyes. Look at me.
I can't. I can't. I'm looking at this. And I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Okay.
We walk out of this door.
Uh-huh.
We seal up this room.
Uh-huh.
And we never come in this room again. Deal? Look at me. Don't look. Don't you, Michelle. Do not look up. Do not look up. Michelle, keep your eyes up. No, no.
I looked up, Daryl. I looked up.
Oh.
There's just so much other stuff in this room. I mean, do you really want to lock everything away, or do we just burn it? We can burn it. We can burn it. We can burn it. Can't we? Burn
Yes.
it? Okay. 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 I can burn it. Does that mean that metaphorically we're burning us?
Metaphorically, we're burning the worst thing that could happen to us.
Oh God. I don't even want to be by it. Okay, I just. Oh God.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
And it hurts me to watch you touch it. I just. Ooh.
I mean, it feels terrible. It feels terrible.
There's more. There's more. Why did we decide to do the mosaic special? I mean, there's so many pieces up there.
I thought the more pieces, the merrier. That was their slogan in the ad. The more pieces, the merrier. Scene. Oh, that was oh my God, so fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so playful. I love it. You are. It's just so, sometimes people, when they get in improv scenes, they want to be real like serious. Like, and I think the element of playfulness and silliness definitely is what's needed right now for sure. So I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, it was therapeutic. I was like, we're going to burn some stuff. I don't know if I can swear. I've already sworn.
Fucking yeah. But how true, it's like, what a metaphor for like our current times is just, let's burn this shit down.
So many pieces though, Jay. So many pieces.
And Mary, it was like, oh shit, there's more. There's so many more behind the pieces.
Oh gosh.
How did you get into improv? What made you like start taking a class?
Yeah, I wanted a stress reliever from work. I thought this was a good idea.
What was the...
Yeah, at the time I was training a women in leadership program, and it was the largest cohort that they had at the time. It was, I think, up to 33 women who had never met each other. This was when I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Never met each other, all types of personalities. And they just had me. And at this point, yeah, we were in the project phase. And I was like, I need a break from team management, conflict resolution, support, coaching, all the things that come into developing lovely, powerful, strong ladies. So I think I initially looked up like acting, and that somehow morphed into improv. And then I was like, this sounds great. I could do this for 8 weeks, get some stress relief, and then go back to work. So, yeah.
Wow. And so do you find that it was more of a benefit than you had thought, as far as like kind of bleeding into what you do for work and using it in a professional situation?
Yeah, so I didn't make the connection professionally until maybe 2 years into performing. For me, though, the thing that kept me there was the community. I think
Yeah.
probably in every improv community, it's like, hey, we're taking this class. Ooh, the next set of classes are coming up. Are you signing up? And there's a little bit of FOMO, and also like, oh, I like this. I think we're all going to do it together. And then you can move with the same group of people. So I think
Yeah.
that double support of finding a community and also just finding people to learn with was a game changer for me. So that's why I stayed.
It's so funny because I had a similar situation of like, oh, this group is moving forward. Let's all take like that's why I got into it, was I found this kind of group of people that was like, your new friend set. And you're like, yeah, I'll take. And if somebody in the group had said, let's go take, I don't know, like salsa dancing classes, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds great too. Like it just happened to be an improv, but it was the group of people that we stayed
Yeah.
together and made that journey, which made it real special.
Yeah, I think indirectly it's a lot of yes anding to like unknown and like, this sounds like a good idea. Take my money, please.
I mean, that's so good. It sounds like a good idea. Take my money. Are you? How often are you teaching? Are you teaching improv now? And how do you like the virtual situation, as far as the challenge of trying to replicate what we've done for so long on stage?
Yeah, so I am not teaching in a formal sense, like a Improv 101 or like a beginner's course or anything like that. What I am doing is I infuse improv and comedy to talk about, oppressive shit in the world, to give people opportunities to talk about hard topics using tenets and core components of things like applied improvisation to work through that. So I have been doing that since I relaunched my business in the pandemic, which was a lot of stressful nights of saying yes to myself to do that. The opportunity, though, is you instantly can create a global classroom and a global space for people to meet people from all over the world and find commonality and how the places you live in might treat people unfairly and the work that people are doing to unlearn harmful behavior.
And it harkens back to like the origination of improv. It wasn't like for stage, it was to help people, and it's I think it's such an important thing that you're doing right now, because it's needed now more than ever. And it's interesting, like, oh, you like to challenge yourself because you're going to launch it during this time. Okay, but it's so needed right now, right? You know what I mean? It's like, the fact that it's still happening is such a huge success, and the fact that it's needed, I think like the timing couldn't be better to see the benefit of this for so many people around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that people are eager for connection and are open to what that looks like and what that means in a way that I think in-person improvisation couldn't provide.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to say no by just turning off your camera or having tech issues, which are totally valid, and what you need to do to take care of yourself in the moment. And I think the pressure that can exist sometimes in improv comedy of like that toxic positivity of like, yes, 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 is disrupted virtually, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah, and you're right. It's like we don't, that whole thing of like the blind agreement sometimes put us in very inappropriate situations. And so
Yeah, absolutely.
and we're taking a workshop together now that Stephen Davidson and Monica Gaga are teaching, and it's giving you, you know, it's an amazing course where we're talking about these topics and like what does yes mean now, and like let's re-examine what that means. And it might have served us to a point, but what can we make it now so it still is a safe place for people to live and play in.
Yeah, and really question like what, at least for me in my work, like what safety looks like and means. Because I think hopefully in 2020, if nothing else, people realize that the world isn't safe for everyone, and in a variety of different ways. I think there's statistics that talk about the rates of domestic violence go up because you're at home more and you don't have the safety to leave, literally. And the same thing like when kids go back to school. So I think that it's important to think broader when we talk about improv. And yes, it is comedy, and absolutely you can laugh and find things funny, and just really consider like at whose expense, and why does the funny have to be about this, and can you play more humanely and have something else be funny.
I mean, it's so critical to have situations where everyone can celebrate and have fun and laugh and to be a part of it, and not, you know, not have people at the, like, have it be at the expense of people, and have it be at the expense of people, especially like when you're punching down at people, and to make that the punchline. And instead, like, can we still use the comedy to laugh and have fun, but also lift people up at the same time? And I had a conversation with a buddy talking about practical jokes, and it's like, are they that great though? Because they're just like, they're being mean to, most of the time it's just being mean to someone, and then people laugh. And so it's like, I don't know if like those practical jokes are as useful now, or really add to making the world a better place, which I think is a goal for like really good improvisers. They have that mentality of like, let's include people and make the world a better place. So I think it could start early on, reinforcing that message constantly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there has to be a willingness for people to probably do the difficult work of unlearning toxic ways of how they learned improv, which is, yeah, I'm like treading lightly because I'm like, these are things I haven't said out loud before. And it's tricky because so much of this work is tied to like certain people and certain places, and doesn't feel like it can stand on its own. So that's why I think I like the work that I do, because there's so much freedom individually that people can have to choose. Like, I love this, I hate this, I will keep this, I will leave this. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, do you?
And we, to me, it's like we want the full you, and for people to feel safer to bring their full you to this, and for us to celebrate that. And I think with the changing of theaters being the determinants of what's good and not good, I think we're going to get there a lot faster. Whereas before it seemed like the same people were, it was like the same faces at different theaters. It was like, but the same kind of, the same mentality. And now it's like, well, we don't have those theaters anymore. So then there are people who come out, like people like you, who say, I'm going to teach this thing that I like to teach. I don't have to get the approval of a place. I don't have to like beg them to let me teach there. I can teach my thing and find people who want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's, when I think about the time period that we are in our life, I joked with people all the time. I'm like, improvisers figured it out. I feel like I'll say a week, but really like 3 to 4 days of like, oh, okay, we have to be in lockdown. Here are 50,000 ways that we can engage with each other starting now.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, such a refreshing gift to like show people the power of creativity and just collaboration, and like you said, just independence and ownership, and like having your own stake in the ground under a broader umbrella. Because I think it's so easy to feel, I feel like pre-COVID that, you know, you can't do this, you can't be this, you're not good enough. And so much of that goes away when it's like, I have an internet connection, I have a computer, and I
Yes.
have a way to ask people to come and play with me.
Yeah.
And that's so awesome to see.
Yeah. It's really both opened up the world that we're in and shrunk it at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you go, like, I felt like for a while, there's this flavor and improv of a way it's supposed to be. And then you're like, but I don't know if that's the way it should be. And then if you're in a theater, you're like, but everybody thinks it's this way. But once that's removed, then it's like, here's what I think this is the power I like to teach this. You'll find people go, oh, I like that too. And then I think it just allows things to evolve more organically. And like you said, we went, okay, we're locked down. How do we make this live, something that's been basically in person? How do we make that work virtually now? Because this is not what we expected, but we were able to kind of look at it and go, okay, what are the possibilities? And then let's figure it out slowly, you know, moment to moment.
Yeah, I feel like what you just described is how I like to perform improv, is a slow build that's present and moment to moment. Because so much of life, I feel like, rushes by you and it's just happening so quickly that I think oftentimes when I play with people, they get to the idea really quickly. And I'm still like, I'm still back there. Like, I now have to catch up with you. So I appreciate your willingness to explore and not define so quickly, because I was like, this is fun to just figure it out.
Mary, 100%. I loved that we were just sitting in this, we assumed it was something, but we didn't have to define it.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, it was more of a natural, of course situation rather than here's the thing. And one of us going, okay, shit, wait, what? Okay, what's going on now? And you have to incorporate that. And you're right. It's that savoring every little moment before you move on to the next moment and building it real slow, but it'll get you. I feel like it gets you there faster actually, because you're working together at a pace of building off each other more.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly lost track of time and I was like, oh yeah, this is just 10 minutes. I guess we're done. Okay, that's fine. Like, I wasn't like, okay, we have to figure out a way to close this. I was just like, all right, we're gonna now burn things and take things down and it's fine. I was like, oh, we're done. That's it. We're not doing the thing then. Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, I love letting the audience too carry that storyline out. It's like, I don't know, where do you want those two to go from here? You saw it, now you can make a decision on where they go. And it's always more fun for me to end at like those high moments. So the moments where you were like, just the tears were so great and us burning stuff. And like, it was so enjoyable. I really loved it.
Yeah, likewise. I'm glad that you and others have found ways to connect with people that you don't know either. So I'm appreciative of opportunities like this to play.
Well, I am appreciative of you as well. I've known you in the like social media world, and this is
Oh,
the first.
really? I have a presence, Jay?
You have a
What?
presence, Mary. You have a presence, and I knew you because of the workshop. But in the workshop we haven't worked together yet.
We haven't. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was like, is it gonna happen today? Is it gonna happen today?
It's gonna be the next class. We're gonna be in everything together. Where, if people want to like, follow you on social media, or if they want to check out some of the classes you're doing or shows or things like that, what's the best way they can do it?
Lovely question. So my name is on the screen, maybe. Mary C. Parker on Twitter. It's Mary C. Parker on Instagram. And if you're watching this on Facebook, then you know how to get in touch with me there.
Well, Mary, this was a great pleasure. I love your vibe and your vibe in life, but also playing together. I feel like I really can connect with that. So whether we play again virtually or in person, I can't wait to play with you again.
Likewise. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Jay. And I'll see you in class.
I'll see you in class, my friend. Bye.
Bye.